Before the beginning, what existed? This seemingly simple question opens the doors to an exploration of the depths of divine pre-existence, a concept that goes beyond the initial accounts of Genesis and extends to the profound declarations of Jesus about his own eternity. While the scriptures detail the act of creation, where, in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth, Genesis 1:1, they remain silent about what preceded this beginning. Before the stars in the firmament, and before the earth nestled in the cosmos, a divine mystery already permeated the depths of eternity. How can we begin to comprehend events and entities that existed before time itself? In direct response to the inquiry about what preceded creation, we find in the words of Jesus the key to unraveling this mystery. He reveals an era of glorious coexistence with the Father before the dawn of creation, as narrated by Paul in Colossians, which declares Christ not just a participant, but also the originating force of the entire universe. Colossians 1:16-17. But how do these revelations impact our understanding of the divine and our own existence? This account is an expedition through the shadows of the past, a quest for the light that illuminates truths hidden before the beginning of time. It is a journey through ancient texts and deep theologies, exploring the heart of the mystery surrounding the creation of the universe. Together, we will uncover prehistory, adding each piece to the cosmic puzzle that shaped our existence and continues to influence our vision of the divine. Ultimately, what happened before the creation of the world? The pre-existence of Christ as the Word illuminates not only creation, but the entire biblical narrative, revealing that He is the divine agent through whom everything was made. According to the Gospel of John, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. John 1:1. This passage not only confirms the divine nature of Christ, but also his active presence before the foundation of the universe. As the Word, Jesus was not a mere spectator. He was an active agent in creation, implying an existence that transcends the beginning of time. This conception of Jesus as co-creator alongside the Father broadens our understanding of his divinity and mission. He did not just appear in history as a human born in Bethlehem. He was already present as the Word through whom all things came into being, as reiterated in John 1:3. Through him all things were made. Without him, nothing was made that has been made. The pre-existence of Christ as the Word illuminates the eternal dimension of his person and work, establishing him as a central figure not only in the redemption of humanity, but in the very origin of the cosmos. In John 17, we find one of the most revealing moments about the pre-existence of Christ, directly from his own words. Jesus confirms his pre-existence in John 17:5, expressing that he shared glory with the Father before the world existed, revealing an active and eternal existence. He prays to the Father, saying, "And now, Father, glorify me in your presence with the glory I had with you before the world began." John 17:5. This verse not only confirms his eternal and divine nature, but also reveals an intimate and glorious relationship with the Father, experienced before any material creation. This self-revelation of Jesus is not just a theological affirmation. It is a window into understanding that the Son was not a subsequent creation of God, but rather a coexisting and co-eternal person with the Father, sharing the same divine essence. This understanding dispels any notion that Jesus, as the Word, had a beginning in time. Instead, he is presented as integral and essential in the eternal divine plan of salvation and creation, reinforcing his role not only as Redeemer, but as an active and eternal participant in divine works from eternity. In this journey of exploring eternal dimensions, we are led to the book of Proverbs, where wisdom is personified and presented as a pre-existent entity, working alongside the Creator. Proverbs 8 offers a profound vision of this eternal wisdom, describing it as present before the formation of the world. The Lord brought me forth as the first of his works, before his deeds of old. I was formed long ages ago, at the very beginning, when the world came to be. Proverbs 8:22-23. This passage not only expands the understanding of God's nature as a communion of wisdom and power, but also emphasizes wisdom's role as an active and divine principle in the order of creation. The personification of wisdom in Proverbs is not merely a figure of speech. It reveals a facet of divine reality, integrated and essential in the design and execution of the universe. Wisdom is seen not just as a quality or attribute of God, but as a dynamic and pre-existent presence, fundamental to the conception of everything created. This understanding not only enriches our view of God, but also invites us to seek the wisdom that is intrinsically woven into the very fabric of creation. The pre-existence of Christ, as explored in the Scriptures, has profound implications for the Christian faith, extending far beyond a mere theological doctrine. By recognizing Jesus as pre-existent and co-eternal with the Father, Christians find a deeper foundation for the veneration of his divinity and an expanded understanding of his role in creation and redemption. This understanding transforms our perception of Jesus from a temporal Messiah to a divine being whose influence and presence transcend the confines of human time. This vision of Christ as an eternal being not only reinforces the authority of his teachings and actions, but also expands the significance of his incarnation. Jesus does not appear merely as a human who was born, lived, and died. He is the eternal Word made flesh, bringing the depths of divine wisdom and power into the human experience. This gives Christians the perspective that in Christ, heaven uniquely touched earth, making salvation not just an isolated event in time, but the manifestation of an eternal plan of redemption. Moreover, the pre-existence of Christ emphasizes that our salvation was planned even before the foundation of the world. This underscores God's sovereignty and the providential security that accompanies believers in their journey of faith. Thus, the Christian faith is based not only on the historical events of Jesus' life, but on the reality that he is the beginning and the end, fully present in every aspect of the divine plan. Understanding creation as an act of divine love, we realize that the universe is not the result of a whim or a cosmic accident, but rather a deliberate manifestation of God's generosity and love. In Christian tradition, creation is often seen as an act of grace, where God, in his fullness, chooses to create an environment where life can thrive and relationships can develop. This perspective transforms our view of the natural world and our place in it, underscoring our responsibility and calling to care for and preserve what has been entrusted to us. This act of creating everything from nothing, ex nihilo, emphasizes God's omnipotence and his desire to share existence with beings created in his image and likeness. It is an expression of divine desire for communion and relationship, setting the stage for a love story between the Creator and creation. Through this act, God not only demonstrates his greatness, but also his closeness. He's not a distant craftsman, but a loving Father who sustains every moment of existence with his constant and sustaining presence. Understanding God's eternal purpose for creation guides us to a life of meaning and service. As beings created in the image and likeness of God, we are invited to live in alignment with this divine purpose, reflecting God's love, justice, and holiness in our daily actions. This understanding transforms our perspective on everyday life, emphasizing that every choice, every act of kindness, every moment of truth is an integral part of the unfolding of God's divine plan. Living according to God's eternal purpose also means recognizing our responsibility towards the created world and our fellow human beings. We are called to be stewards of creation, caring for it as a precious divine gift, and working towards the restoration and redemption of all things through Christ. This calling encompasses not only environmental care, but also a commitment to social justice, actively seeking equal rights and opportunities for all, thereby reflecting the equity and compassion that emanate from the heart of God. The understanding that Jesus, as the Word, existed before anything was created, and his coexistence with the Father as a divine unity, offers not only an answer to our initial question, but also profoundly redefines our view of creation, redemption, and the continuity of divine purpose. This revelation not only answers, but also invites us to reflect on how this eternal truth affects our faith and daily practice. Recognizing Christ's pre-existence and his eternal role as co-creator calls us to live in a way that reflects God's original intention for humanity. To live in harmony with creation and each other, cultivating a relationship that mirrors divine love and wisdom. In this context, the Christian life becomes a continuous response to the divine call, a journey that is both of discovery and response. We are called to live not for ourselves, but for God, which means actively seeking to live in a way that reflects his glory and love. Faith becomes a dynamic process of transformation, where each act of obedience and each moment of communion with God are steps that shape us more into the image of Christ. Accepting the challenge of understanding Christ's pre-existence invites us to embrace a transformation that aligns us more closely with the divine purpose, empowering us to act as agents of reconciliation and restoration in a world yearning for redemption. The understanding that Jesus Christ is both Creator and Redeemer expands our comprehension of salvation as an act of cosmic restoration, not just of individuals, but of the entire universe. This elevates the practice of Christian spirituality to a deeper and more conscious engagement with issues of justice, peace, and care for creation. Therefore, as we continue to explore and deepen our understanding of these truths, may each of us be inspired to live in a way that our faith is not only professed, but also tangibly and impactfully lived. May the reflection on Christ's pre-existence lead us to personal and communal transformation, where divine love is manifested in every aspect of our lives. We hope this story has touched your faith in some way. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so you don't miss new stories. Until the next word of faith, and may God bless you.